Have you ever been in a conversation with a native speaker and you suddenly realize you sound completely different from them? You say things like, I entered the vehicle, while they say, I got in the car. You say, I must postpone the meeting, and they say, I need to put it off. If you feel like you sound like a walking grammar textbook, I know exactly how frustrating that is. You study incredibly hard, you learn all the official vocabulary, but native speakers use a completely different set of words in their daily lives. Those words are phrasal verbs, and they are the absolute key to sounding natural, relaxed, and fluent in English. But here is the harsh reality. Staring at a massive list of 200 phrasal verbs and trying to memorize them is a complete waste of your time. Your brain is not a dictionary. When you memorize a list without any context, you forget the words by the next morning. And worse, even if you remember them, you don't know how to actually use them smoothly in a real sentence. You end up hesitating, translating in your head, and losing your confidence. Welcome to the English Listening Podcast. I am your host, Sophie, and today we are going to fix this problem permanently. We are going to throw away the boring vocabulary lists. Instead, we are going to use the most powerful learning tool in human history, which is a story. When you hear words inside a narrative, your brain naturally builds connections. You do not have to force yourself to remember. The context does the work for you. Today, I am going to tell you a short story about a very chaotic, stressful morning. Inside this story, I have packed the most essential, everyday phrasal verbs that native speakers actually use. First, I want you to just listen. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes if you can, and just try to follow the events of the story. Do not worry if you miss a single word. Do not try to translate. Just listen to the flow of the English language. It all started when my alarm clock didn't go off. I was supposed to wake up at 6, but I accidentally slept in until 7:30. I panicked, threw off my blankets, and jumped out of bed. I quickly put on my clothes and ran to the kitchen to make some coffee, but of course I found out that we had run out of milk. I didn't have time to deal with it, so I just grabbed my bags and headed out the door. I got in my car and turned the key, but the engine wouldn't start. My car had broken down right there in the driveway. I tried to figure out what was wrong, but I am not a mechanic. I had to come up with a backup plan fast. I pulled out my phone and called up my boss. I told him I was going to be late and asked if we could put off our morning meeting until the afternoon. He told me to just calm down, take a breath, and sort out my car troubles. He said we could catch up later. I ended up calling an Uber, and I finally showed up at the office 2 hours late, feeling completely exhausted, but at least I made it through the morning. Did you catch the story? It is a terrible morning, but it is a perfect example of how native speakers actually talk. I did not say my alarm failed to activate. I said it didn't go off. I did not say I woke up late intentionally. I said I slept in. I didn't say my car experienced a mechanical failure. I said it broke down. This is the secret to conversational English. Now we are going to move into the active part of our lesson. Just listening to the story is wonderful for your ears, but if you want to actually use these phrasal verbs in your own life, you have to train your mouth muscles. We are going to do a shadowing exercise. I am going to pull sentences directly from the story we just heard. I will say the sentence once at a normal native speed, then I will pause. During that silence, I want you to repeat the sentence out loud. You must speak out loud. Don't just whisper in your head. Mimic my voice, my rhythm, and exactly how I connect the words together. Take a deep breath. Let's start with the alarm clock. My alarm clock didn't go off. Now you repeat. Notice how go off links together smoothly. My alarm clock didn't go off. Your turn. Let's try the next one. I accidentally slept in until 7:30. Repeat after me. To sleep in means to sleep longer than you intended or usually do. Let's do it again. I accidentally slept in until 7:30. Good. Now, getting dressed. I quickly put on my clothes. Your turn. Listen to the connection. Put on. The T sounds almost like a soft D because it sits between two vowels. I quickly put on my clothes. Repeat. Next, the coffee disaster. We had run out of milk. Repeat that. To run out of something means you have absolutely none left. Notice the rhythm. Run out of. Run out of milk. Try it again. We had run out of milk. Now the car problem. My car had broken down in the driveway. Your turn. When a machine stops working, it breaks down. My car had broken down in the driveway. Repeat. I tried to figure out what was wrong. Go ahead. To figure out means to solve a problem or understand something. Listen to the linking. Figure out. Figure out. I tried to figure out what was wrong. Try it one more time. I had to come up with a backup plan. Repeat. To come up with means to invent or think of an idea. I had to come up with a backup plan. Your turn. I asked if we could put off our meeting. Repeat after me. To put off means to delay or postpone to a later time. I asked if we could put off our meeting. He told me to calm down and take a breath. Go ahead. He said we could catch up later. Your turn. To catch up means to talk and get the latest updates from someone. He said we could catch up later. Repeat. I finally showed up at the office 2 hours late. Repeat. To show up means to arrive, usually exactly when you are expected, or in this case, when you are not. I finally showed up at the office 2 hours late. Your turn. And the final phrase of the chaotic morning. I made it through the morning. Go ahead. To make it through means to survive a difficult experience or a tough amount of time. I made it through the morning. Repeat one last time. Excellent job. Shake out your shoulders and relax your jaw. You just actively practiced 12 incredibly common phrasal verbs in real context. If you repeated those sentences out loud with me, you are already building the physical muscle memory required to use them naturally without thinking. Remember, learning a language is not about memorizing thick grammar books or acting like a robot. It is about understanding the natural rhythms and the casual phrases that native speakers use to describe their messy daily lives. You do not need to sound like a textbook. You just need to sound like a confident version of you. I highly encourage you to replay this specific audio tomorrow and the next day. The more you shadow this story, the faster these phrasal verbs will bypass your translation filter and become a permanent part of your active vocabulary. When you are ready, try telling your own story about a bad morning out loud to yourself and see how many of these verbs you can use naturally. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. You are making real, tangible progress, even if it feels difficult sometimes. I am Sophie, and I will see you in the next episode of the English Listening Podcast. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and speak with confidence.